So hmm, there's a presumption, I think, that I've certainly had. That if I just sit around quietly, what then? How am I going to pay my mortgage? You know, how do I get money, or how do I do all these things? And so I don't know if I spoke to it. No, I haven't spoke to it in this group, but I call them, funny enough, the clearest teaching on this I found is by Steve Jobs. Uh, which might be a surprise, But he says your heart already know what it wants to become. It's just the mind that gets in the way. And he calls it because of the dogma. And he said dogma is the result of other people's thinking. So there's a presumption that if I don't want things, how do I manifest? And so when we're trying to manifest, in my experience from the little I, little me, it's like a little half-charged Duracell battery saying, I'm going to light up the world. And of course, it's constantly struggling, getting drained, not having the clarity, not having the power. Some people have maybe a good karma to do that, and that I'm not in that category. I was saying, there was King Midas. King Midas, I think, had the touched everything turned to gold. I have the other finger. So, everything turns to shit. So sorry about the language, but this isn't a church, so I can get away with it. So I had the other finger. And so I'm blessed with bad karma at manifesting. Tried all my life to manifest and nothing, just struggle. And my manifestation started to happen when I dropped the I. When I woke up, as I had been doing for a number of years, on and off, with anxiety at 3 o'clock in the morning. How am I going to pay my rent again to this week? How am I going to afford to buy my clothes, my Louis Vuitton handbag? So, that's a joke. As you can see, I like hoodies. How am I going to buy my food shopping? Like this was constant for me. And I had positive thinking, vision boards, I will manifest. I am unstoppable. I am a force of nature. I am one with God, I. And then one night, to help me get back to sleep, I was listening to something called the Wisdom Teachings of Jesus, or the Commandments of Jesus, where he gave advice. And it was put to this beautiful Arabic music, and it was done as a 1 hour meditation, all his sayings and his teachings as a wisdom teacher. He was ultimately a wisdom teacher. And one of his sayings was, you don't get into the kingdom of heaven by saying God, 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 but only by carrying out the will of the Father. And so something hit me like a lightning bolt. And I realized that I'd been trying to manifest from me. I'd never asked God what he, she, that, the light, whatever you want to refer to that, the higher self, the universal consciousness, whatever you want to label that. I'd never asked what he wanted. so, so that morning I thought, you know what? I'm sick of running my life. So it's like, right, show me. What do you want? And so he left me stewing for 3 hours on the first day and didn't say anything. So I thought I'd try again tomorrow. Nothing else is working. And so second morning, sat there, you just let me know. I'll work in a charity shop. I'll sweep the streets, whatever you want. You just tell me. I'll do it. Because this isn't working for me. Me trying to run my life. Anyway, 3 weeks later, she trebled my income, and then I've never looked back. She just showed. I thought, so let's look at that. I was like, I'll sweep the streets, I'll do this, do that. The divine was like, no, you do what you're here to do. You answer your calling to be a meditation teacher, a healer. But I'm going to look after you and make sure that you've got financial support and all that kind of stuff doing that. So that was 2 years ago. So So the answer is, my manifestations, whether that's miracles in my physical healing in hospital, when, I had a miracle there, financial miracles, they've never ceased to stop since I surrendered and said, okay, every morning, my only prayer, show me, I'm yours. You put me wherever you want to put me, show me what you want to do. And somehow that divine will is echoed in my heart. So it means I'm not being told to do things that I don't want to do. It's almost I start to live my soul purpose. And Christ says this in the Bible. He says, first seek the kingdom of heaven, which he says is within us and all around us. He says, first seek the kingdom of heaven and act with righteousness. I don't like that word. I think he meant act with love and compassion. So first, feel the vibration of heaven, the alignment within and without, and act with love. And he says, everything will be given unto you. I'll look after you, In the Sermon on the Mount, does he not look after the birds of the air? And they don't toil and they don't struggle. And how much more will he look after you? So this idea that I have to manifest is the barrier. That's the barrier. Like there is a divine force that loves us more than we love ourselves. That's why self-love is needed a little with a personality, but it's not really needed because the divine loves us more than we love ourselves. So if we live in that essence, self-love isn't even needed because we're in love all the time and we're feeling like we're being loved by a force that's beyond us, that more than we can even imagine. So that's the path.